Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Damon K Jones here, and I want to welcome you to Black Westchester magazines from the publisher's desk. And I wanted to take time to discuss Vice President Kamala Harris's program for Black men. It's called the Opportunity Agenda for Black Men. This agenda has come about from the recent pushback or recent national discussion on President Barack Obama's statement to Black men. And it was a lot of people was taken back. You know, there were some people that got caught up in their feelings to the fact that Black men needed to be talked to. But other Black men thought we don't need to be talked to. We need to have discussions on what the Democratic Party is going to do for Black men. For the last decade, Black men have been silent, and we have set backs, and they've noticed that Black men just are not talking. You know, there are some Black men that are supporting Trump, and I don't want to get into that conversation, but there are a lot of Black men that are disenfranchised with the Democratic Party, the party that claims to represent Black people and fight for civil rights and human rights. So I wanted to actually go over the plan and discuss my feelings of the Vice President Kamala Harris's plan for Black men. Upcoming election approaches, the Democratic Party faces a pivotal question. Will they effectively address Black men's unique needs and priorities in America? Vice President Kamala Harris recently announced the Opportunity Agenda for Black Men, and it aims to answer this question, presenting a comprehensive plan centered around wealth building, healthcare, employment, and criminal justice reform. However, while the plan is ambitious, Black men have heard similar promises and are still waiting for real change. Considering the issues Black men have voiced for years, Harris's plans offer some valuable steps forward, yet still leaves critical gaps. The potential impact of this plan on Black men's votes cannot be understated, making it crucial for the Democratic Party to make more decisive actions. So let's look at the strengths of the plan. Harris's agenda includes several elements that respond to key issues Black men consistently face, including access to capital, healthcare disparities, police reform, and now vocational training. Her plan proposes 1 million forgivable loans for Black entrepreneurs, reduces degree requirements for federal jobs, and doubles the number of registered apprenticeships. These initiatives could help Black men achieve financial security and build wealth for their communities, an objective they have long looked for. The plan emphasizes on vocational training, and this is especially timely. Recent labor market data reveals a looming shortage of skilled trade people. The U.S. is projected to face a deficit of 550,000 plumbers by 2027. And the demand for electricians is set to grow twice as fast as the average for all occupations through 2032. These shortages signal significant opportunities for those willing to pursue careers in skilled trades, which can often provide high-paying and stable employment without requiring a college degree. By promoting vocational training as a viable path to success, Harris' agenda aligns well with the current labor market and directly addresses employment disparities affecting Black men. The healthcare aspects of this plan also go further than many others. The proposed National Health Equity Initiative targets conditions that disproportionately affect Black men, such as diabetes, sickle cell disease, and prostate cancer. By capping prescription costs and expanding preventive screenings, Harris's agenda acknowledges the healthcare disparities that have devastated Black men's health outcomes and seek to offer some relief. On police reform, Harris's support for the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act is a positive step, aiming to establish federal standards for police conduct and accountability. Black men have long been vocal about the violence they have experienced at the hands of law enforcement, even in Democratic-run cities. And the agenda takes a step forward addressing this persistent issue. Although promising, questions remain of the effectiveness given the limits of federal oversight. So, we appreciate the plan. I think it's a step forward. Does VP Harris's plan fall short? While Harris's opportunity agenda is commendable in many respects, it falls short in areas that matter deeply to Black men. Notably, the plan lacks a clear stance for reparations, a critical issue for Black Americans who view reparations as essential for addressing the centuries of economic and social injustice that continue to affect their communities. By failing to commit to a path forward on reparations, the plan risks coming across as another package of well-meaning but incomplete policies that ignore the historical injustice underpinning today's disparities. Another significant gap is the lack of focus on Black veterans, who make up a large portion of the military and often face unique challenges upon returning home. Conflicts like the war in Gaza highlight the question about American spending priorities, and Black men see billions of dollars allocated overseas for interventions while their communities are left underfunded. Black veterans, in particular, often return to insufficient support for mental health, housing, and job placement. Harris's plan overlooks these specific needs, leaving Black veterans to navigate an unsupported and often hostile system. Additionally, while the plan proposes police reform, there are constitutional limitations that prevent the federal government from directly enforcing these reforms locally. The 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution reserves powers not explicitly granted to the federal government to the states or the people, including control over public safety and policing. This division of power makes it constitutionally impossible for the federal legislation like the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act to directly impose reforms over the 18,000 local, county, and state police departments across the country. Thus, even in a Democratic-led city, police brutality frequently goes unchecked, with local governments failing to hold officers accountable. For Black men, police violence is not an isolated issue. It's a constant reminder that their safety and well-being are often in peril. Harris's plan may address some aspects of the reform, but its impact remains limited just to the federal officers, without stricter accountability measures for systematic change. What also it lacks is support for criminal reform beyond policing. The plan could also expand its criminal justice reforms to address systematic issues within the broader legal system. Black men are disproportionately affected by harsh sentencing, mandatory minimums, and lack of rehabilitation-focused programs. Initiatives aim to reform sentencing laws, supporting reentry programs, and expanding restorative justice practices could provide Black men with more comprehensive approach to the criminal justice reform that goes beyond police interactions. Now, there's also broader issues for potential addition to this plan. Harris's plan could address the systematic nature of racial discrimination within financial systems to strengthen the opportunity agenda further. While she proposes providing access to loans and banking options, the plan can take more robust stance on combating discriminatory lending practices, which systematically deny Black men the capital necessary to start businesses or buying homes. Increased oversight of the institutions and target anti-discrimination measures would further enhance the plan's wealth-building initiative. Focus on environmental justice and clean energy jobs will also benefit Black communities, many facing high pollution levels, creating opportunities for Black men to work in emerging industries like renewable energy would address environmental disparities and provide a pathway to economic advances. Moreover, expanding mental health beyond veterans would strengthen the plan. Black men in general face a higher level of stress, trauma, and limited access to mental health resources. Integrating mental health services within community centers and public schools, along with culturally competent care programs, will show a more holistic approach to addressing the mental health crisis of Black men in America. Explicit commitment to accountability. The plan could benefit from more apparent accountability mechanisms to address Black men's skepticism about political promises. For example, the Democratic Party could commit to regular progress reports on these initiatives, including input from community leaders, advocates, and Black men. Establishing a transparent oversight body or advisory council that includes Black male leaders will demonstrate a commitment to implementing, monitoring, and evaluating the plan's impact. This measure will offer Black men a tangible way to hold leadership accountable and to ensure their needs are being addressed. Incorporating these elements will create a more comprehensive and robust agenda that addresses the needs of Black men across a broader spectrum. This approach will help illustrate that the Democratic Party is committed to responding to the immediate needs and building sustainable pathways for Black men's future success. Now, what is the path forward for Black men and the Democratic Party? Harris's opportunity agenda for Black men has the potential to be a significant and positive impact on the lives of Black men across the country. The proposed loans, healthcare initiatives, and job programs are solid steps forward and respond to some of the long-standing issues Black men has constantly raised. The potential for change should inspire hope and optimism in the Democratic Party and the Black community. The Democratic Party must recognize that Black men's loyalty should not be taken for granted. Black men want tangible results, and they are increasingly frustrated with leaders who speak passionately about reform but fail to implement meaningful changes. Harris's plan shows promise but will require follow-through and a genuine, unwavering commitment to address the issues like reparations, support of Black veterans, vocational training, support of Black families, and a courageous stance on police accountability. Suppose the Democratic Party is serious about securing the Black male vote. In that case, it must do more than offer ambitious plans. It must act decisively and transparently to fulfill its promise. Black men deserve a government that sees them, hears them, and honors their contributions to American society by investing in their future. Harris's plan is a step in the right direction. But if the Democratic Party wants to earn the black men's vote, it must go further. Black men are ready to support leaders who demonstrate accountability and commitment to addressing their needs. The question is, will the Democrats rise to occasion, or will there be just another election cycle where promises to black men go unfulfilled? Thank you. This is Damon Jones, and please go to blackwestchester.com, the news with the black point of view. Check out the articles. This is Politically Speaking with the Black Westchester magazine publisher, Damon K. Jones. Peace and blessing. I'm out.